Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Sean Duncan, and welcome to my channel. So, this original clip, I was going to use it as another intro to In the Lab, but it did go kind of longer than most of my intro topics of discussions. So, we're going to actually use this as another longer format discussion. It's going to have its own video. It's basically going to be a bunch of biased NFL trades that we want to see happen for our fantasy team. Basically, they some of them might be a little bit outlandish, but again, that's the whole point of it. It's just a bunch of biased trades that we want to see happen. But enjoy the show, guys. Today, really quick, before we get into the workout, I want to talk about some NFL trades, although very biased, based on my fantasy home league team. This is going to be very biased. So, right now, if you don't want to hear something a little bit out of the ordinary, go ahead and just click to the next video. Don't leave my channel. Click to the next video. But to kick it off, we're going to start with the Steelers trading for Jacoby Myers. Yes, we need that to happen. We need that to happen so bad because Jacoby Myers, although the floor is very high at about like 5 points per game, five half PPR points per game, it's still a little lackluster. Geno Smith, I don't think it's Geno Smith. What I can tell right now is that from the beginning of the season or the beginning of the year, they had it in their mind that they kind of wanted to run that offense through Trey Tucker and let Brock Bowers and these kind of new young guns, Jack Besh and Deontay Thornton, kind of eat wherever they can. And they didn't really game plan for Jacoby Myers. So now I kind of understand why he wanted to trade so earlier, in the season before the first week, even more or less. I found that a little weird, like why would Jacoby Myers, out of all people, want to get traded before the season starts? He's Mr. Reliable, he comes out there, he catches the ball, 5, 6, maybe 10 times if you need him to. But to see him, out of all people, the guy who comes in every week, does blocking, catch the ball, does whatever you need to do, request a trade, that says almost a lot about your game plan. It says I didn't understand it, but I was just a little bit, what made me kind of think that, oh, they're gonna game plan for him is when Amari Cooper retired. So Amari Cooper retired earlier, and then Jacoby Myers comes out like a week or two later and requests a trade. So, I it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in the Raiders. They're not having the most competitive season. They could get rid of Jacoby Myers, get a mid-round pick. Who knows? You might find the next Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is like a fifth-round pick. You could find the next guy to kind of help take a little bit of eyes off of the backfield. Lord knows you need it. Ashton Genty is getting fucking harassed every every play. Every play, Ashton Genty has like nowhere to go. Nowhere to go, man. You watch the games and it's almost like the Trey Tucker show. Oh my God, we got Trey Tucker running across the middle. We got Trey Tucker going deep. I'm just happy they stopped throwing the ball to Deontay Thornton 40 yards down the field because, bro, he wasn't even like doing jump balls. He wasn't even like ag catching, which is the Madden term. But he was just more or less kind of like flailing around, and I didn't understand it. I was like, yo, this is the guy who they say is the next Megatron. But hey, who knows? Maybe next year he'll have like his sophomore tear or something. But in all honesty, I have nowhere near as much prestige as this man or renown, but I think it's Chip Kelly's fault. I think it's Chip Kelly's fault. You watch the Raiders play, and you almost feel like you're watching like early 2010 Oregon Ducks, or whenever Chip Kelly was over there at Oregon. You have the speedy wide receiver just running across pre-snap motion. Then you have the fast tight end Brock Bowers. it's just and then you have what, the do it all block, run, catch, running back Ashton Genty. Bro, it's a little outdated. It's a little outdated. You watch the defense, you watch not the defense, you watch the offense, and you're like, man, no wonder these guys can't get anything going. No disrespect to Trey Tucker, but Trey Tucker is not who you guys want him to be. Maybe he will be later in his career, but right now, it's not it, dog. It's not it, dog. So let's go on to the next trade that we would like to see happen. Again, we're gonna keep it biased. We're gonna go to the Giants trading for Rashid Shaheed. So just one more thing. One more thing. Just to go back in, just to go really backtrack really quick. The reason the Steelers need to trade for Jacoby Myers is that it's an all-in year for them. They're going all in. They traded for Ramsey. They traded for Slay. They traded for Rogers. You might as well just get you a wide receiver, or you're not gonna get Trey Hendrickson because he plays for the Bengals. But you might as well just trade for Jacoby Myers, see what that can get you. Because to be honest, it's literally DK Metcalf and then three other tight ends running around the field, and then you get the occasional Jalen Warren dump off. It's I kudos to Arthur Smith. Kudos to Arthur Smith, the guy from the old head coach from the Falcons, is somehow somewhat making this team like legitimate. He's making them legitimate offensively. They were really going back and forth with the Bengals, who have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Yoshi Vosh is good in the slot. You got Chase Brown. This is a high powered offense, and they went out there, dropped 33 on the Steelers, but the Steelers were there. They were right there at 31 points. So you need somebody to kind of help you put a little bit more points on the board, and I think Jacoby Myers will do that. Quickly going back to the next trade, we said Rashid Shaheed going to the Giants. I think this could work, just like the other trade. You have Jackson Dart, an emerging young. You really like to watch him play, man. I just watched him play the Broncos last week, and that game was sensational, dog. He's running across the pocket, doing everything. In the first half, he had me. I was like, hey, this guy's the truth. I thought he was gonna go out there to Denver. They were gonna give him that good old fashioned Denver D, the Denver D. But no, man, he's out there chucking and jiving, doing what he has to do to put his team on the back, to put him in a better position. And how do you reward a man for doing that? You give him pieces. You give him pieces to work with. Okay, they just signed Ray McLeod, but let's be real. Ray McLeod is not Rashid Shaheed. Yes, Rashid Shaheed I think he tore his ACL or his MCL, or one of those muscles in your knee last year. But he's coming back. He's having a great season. He's out there running. He looks faster than ever. If you saw that 87-yard touchdown he had earlier this year, the burners are still there. The burners are still there. And when you need somebody that can stretch the field and help give more space for your quarterback to see the field, Rashid Shaheed is the best. Like him, what other person would be like a great kind of field stretcher? I mean, you could say Tyquan Thornton is a field stretcher. You could say someone else Jalen Hyatt is the current one that they have, but let's be real. They're probably going to trade Jalen Hyatt to the Saints to get Rashid Shaheed if they can, or like a 5th or a 6th round draft pick, something like that. But yeah, you need to surround somebody young and feisty, and the most important thing of them all, successful. Jackson Dart is being successful, so you need to surround him with more receivers so that the success can continue, so that the game plan doesn't become known. Once the game plan is known and there's no wrinkles this is part of the reason why Andy Reid is so good. There's so many wrinkles, there's so many folds to his offense that it almost becomes unpredictable. So I feel like that would be a great step in the right direction for the Giants. Although very biased because I have Rashid Shaheed on my personal team, I think it's something that they should do. It'll help in the long run. They can probably give him a new contract because he's still on his rookie year, and it'll all work out. It'll all work out. You get a deep threat, but then you could also do a lot with Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed has been running different routes than he ran last year. He was just a goal ball guy last year. Now he's running outs. He's running comebacks. He's even got some red zone looks. But hey, let's go on to the next one really quick. We're gonna keep it going with the the biased trades. That's gonna be the title. The title is gonna be biased NFL trades. So this next one is gonna be the Houston Texans trade for Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle has single-handedly saved my fantasy career this year. Put my team on the map. 2 back-to-back 30-point performances. He's doing everything you could ask for a running back, especially for someone filling in. He had an amazing year last year with the Cowboys. Most people kind of forget it. Even me, I forgot it. He was on the fucking waiver wire. You know, he was on the waiver wire. I got him off the waiver wire. But then, hey, this guy gets a chance. Chuba Hubbard goes down and he loses his mind. Although he did it to some very suspect teams. Yes, we're looking at you, Dallas. Yes, we're looking at you, Dolphins. The Dolphins, y'all are really suspect. I was talking about the Colts before the season start, but y'all might actually have to demolish the Hard Rock. I went to the Hard Rock earlier this year and I watched the Patriots versus Dolphins game, and y'all not even real fans. Y'all was leaving before the game was over. I literally saw fans leaving. They punt the ball off to the fucking Dolphins. They go take the kick back, and they still not coming back to watch the game. I'm watching Malik. I think it was Malik Washington take the kickback on a punt return, and y'all still didn't want to come back and watch y'all team win. Y'all, this is why I'm not a Dolphin fan. Y'all don't really love the Dolphins. I'm gonna expand on that in another video. But yes, the Texans received Rico Dowdle. They could trade Damian Pierce to the Carolina Panthers, or they could also trade Titus Howard. Yes, I'm looking at my notes. They could also trade Titus Howard to the Carolina Panthers. I think Damian Pierce on the Panthers wouldn't be too bad, because at this point, and not even in the whole, in the especially in the fantasy sphere, you have everybody pretty much saying, "Oh, Rico Dowdle is way better than Chuba Hubbard. Why even keep him?" But now Chuba Hubbard is the captain. He's the captain. You're not gonna let him go. You just extended him. So I figure, you get your money's worth while you can. You trade him. You get a draft pick. Somebody else probably eats the rest of his cap or his salary unless you give him guaranteed money. Don't ask me. Unfortunately, a part of my notes was not his contract. I'll be a little bit more thorough, but guys, I'm at like maximum capacity right now. I'm running on fumes. But hey, let's get it. On to the last trade that we like to see.
I know Sean said this is the last trade, but it's not.
This one is going to be more of a. This is a pretty unbiased one, but I would like to see the Eagles either trade for Rick Woolen or sign Asante Samuel Jr. I don't know why nobody has signed Asante Samuel Jr. Maybe he has some underlying health problem or concern. Like, for example, you have Hunter Renfro. He had I think he had Sir, oh Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing. He had some type of ulcer. Oh my God, Jesus! I'm gonna keep this in the video till I can say this right. He had ulcerative colitis, if I can say that right. If I said that right, but he had some type of disease going on, and it gave him a lot of pain, and that's pretty much why he was out for a while. That was the reason why he stopped playing for the Raiders. But hey, Asante Samuel was doing great. He was doing great on the Chargers, and then out of nowhere, he becomes a free agent. They don't sign him back, and it just doesn't. I just don't understand. Like, his father, Asante Samuel, great Patriot, great cornerback. You know, it's just kind of like a no brainer to me. Especially for a team like the Eagles. The Eagles are really struggling in their secondary. They're struggling. It's so bad. You know, I was a big fan of Adoree Jackson coming out of USC. I was like, oh, this guy's super lock up. He's gonna be like the next Darrelle Revis. Now on the Eagles, Adoree, please, can you cover somebody? Please, we need you. I don't get it, man. Please, I don't get it. Adoree Jackson and who else? I don't know who. I don't even know who else is out there. But that shit is just terrible, man. You got these guys just running up and down the field. They can't cover. They can't cover shit. They can't cover nothing, man. I ain't never understand. Not that I've never understand, but I've never seen an Eagles secondary be so bad. That's usually their thing. Their secondary. The secondary is usually good, but it's literally just Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean running everywhere, doing everything. Of Cooper DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell is not on that person, that person might as well be wide open. In my humble opinion, no disrespect to these guys. I understand you give your whole life and you've done so much for your communities and this and that. But me as a couch coach watching those games, if that person is not covered by Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean, they might as well be wide open. They might as well be wide open. But going to the next one. Going to the next and the final trade. This one is not very biased. This is just something that I want to see happen personally, just to save this person's career. I would like to see the Commanders trade for David Njoku. Honestly, I'm tired of watching David Njoku's career be wasted by the Cleveland Browns. You can say the same for Chris Olave. Really, they're just wasting excellent football players' career with meaningless play and horrible, just horrible product at the end of the day. I'm not gonna say it's bad coaching, but it's just a horrible product that they're putting out. You watch the Browns play, and it's, what are you doing? What are you really watching? They just beat up on the Dolphins, but who is the Dolphins wide receiver? It's okay. You got Jalen Waddle. You got Malik Washington, the go gadget kind of dude that does a lot of the pre-motion snapping. Tyreek Hill is gone. Darren Waller exited that game. No more Jonnu Smith. What are we gonna do? Drop back and throw the ball to? So we're gonna do swing routes to Achane every play, or we're gonna throw it deep to Waddle. It's just like, they had that game. You'll see in the recap, but I literally picked that defense. I picked the Browns defense because I knew Tua was going to get sacked the whole game, and he was going to be under pressure the whole game. And I've seen with my own eyes at a Dolphins game, Tua makes some very questionable throws, and it's getting. I feel like the Dolphins, they have passed implosion, and now it's just like what do you call it after the nuke goes off, and then it's like the leftover radiation. That's what's happening this season. Last year was the implosion. When they I think they lost in the playoffs, but now you're starting to see the leftover effects of the radiation. You see Tyreek Hill getting injured. You see the multiple interceptions in a game. Nobody's going to team meetings per your head quarterback. That's what your head quarterback said. And it's just like everything's downhill from here. But again, look, hey, maybe in my next video, I will expand upon why I detest the Dolphins. But we're going to get into this workout, guys. If you made it through the entire rant, thank you so much. We're going to get into this workout really quick.
What else? Golden lady. Where we at? I'd like to go there. Blockwell. Skid it. Before the COVID, I've been on it. Mask and gloves when my man sent it. Transcended. Still getting